But there's growing outrage over a giant condo tower that will be going up in this small space here right beside John Fisher Public School in the Yonge and Eglinton area. As we first told you on Friday, parents are voicing their concerns over the health and safety of their children. As we first reported, up to 500 students here may have to be relocated to accommodate construction. Now, this project got the green light from the Ontario Municipal Board even after it was strongly opposed by the city. And tonight we're learning that the approved plan also goes against Toronto's zoning bylaws.
So the OMB approved a 35-story tower that the City of Toronto turned down and said no to. And so now we're left holding the bag as a city to figure out how to facilitate this.
Councillor Jay Robinson, who's been fighting against this condo since the very beginning, is baffled as to how the provincial appeals process can approve something that was so deeply opposed by the city.
The bottom line is we wrote two negative planning reports saying the City of Toronto does not want this in this neighborhood. Tall building, small lot, doesn't really fit the context, right beside a school. The neighbors fought it, but the bottom line is now it's approved. The OMB has approved it, but nobody wants it.
What we've learned is that the massive 35-story tower being built here along the property line of this school is actually breaking zoning bylaws, plans that got the green light when the Ontario Municipal Board overruled the city's initial decision.
This is 6 times what the City of Toronto bylaws permit from a height perspective and 7 times density.
So it's almost as though Toronto has no say. Ontario is the only province that has a provincial body where developers can make appeals. The Premier agrees this process needs to be adjusted.
We're bringing forward more changes to the OMB that will put more decision-making power in the hands of municipal councils, because that's where a lot of these decisions should be made.
Now, according to the Ontario Municipal Board, it looks at evidence, provincial laws and planning policies to guide decisions made at hearings. Last year, it heard about 2,500 developers from across the province. 43% of those appeals came from Toronto. And I'm being told that the process works both ways.
It's not only an opportunity for developers to appeal, it is also an opportunity for anyone else to appeal against a development that's been approved by City Council.
But Councillor Robinson believes Toronto should be making its own decisions and should have final say as to what happens in our own backyard.
We have a sophisticated planning division that works hard to develop in a responsible way that fits with the context of the neighborhood and maintains the streetscape. This is an example of an outrageous development 6 times. This is 6 times what the zoning bylaw allows in Toronto.
And this is just one example of the OMB overruling a project that the city opposed. So coming up a little later on in the show, stunning numbers that shows how the provincial appeals process is dictating development in our neighborhoods.